Are you my insurance man?
What's the matter with you? I'm the guy you hit, you know what I mean?
From Television City in Hollywood, it's the Away We Go show with your co-hosts, Buddy Greco, George Carlin, with Buddy Rich. Tonight's guests, Richard Pryor, Coral Delphi, and the Teddy Neeley Five. Tonight, Away We Go is brought to you by Scope.
Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free and beauty surrounds you. The world still astounds you each time you look at a star. Stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as the roaring tide, so there's no need to hide. Born free and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. Stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as the roaring tide, so there's no need to hide. Born free and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're
Mrs. Updike, you could get me fired.
The new style of quiz shows on television are the ones which deal with love and people in love. Dating game, newlywed game. You've seen them, a bunch of couples sitting around giggling. And do you have a pet name for your wife there, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Godzilla.
So why not take love to the next logical step? First dating, then newlywed, and now, divorce game. Yes, it's time for Divorce Game, brought to you by Coast to Coast Van Lines. If you're breaking up a home, let Coast to Coast break it up for you. And here's America's favorite divorce funny man, the fellow with the split personality, Don DeCree. Love is lovelier the second time. Hi out there, hi out there. Thank you, Don Pardo, and hello, all you people. Boo, boo, boo. Fine, another nice house today. Welcome to Divorce Game, the show where some lucky couple wins a legal divorce right on the air and spends an exciting week in Hollywood right here at the Veterans Hospital. And a little later in the show, we'll be playing our home divorce game. That's where we call a housewife at random and tell her husband is downtown drinking with another woman. That'll be lots of fun, but that'll be later on. And by the way, many of you will remember Phil and Dee Dee Dubois, the lovely couple from Iceland whom we divorced 2 weeks ago right here on our stage. Well, we got kind of a sad letter from Dee Dee. Seems like they've reconciled. Well, we can't win them all. I was sure that was one divorce that might have a chance to work. And don't forget our fabulous prizes today. In store for today's couple, whichever divorce they choose, whether it's the 6-week standard Reno job or the quickie Mexican overnighter, doesn't matter. It'll be fully paid for. That includes lawyers' fees, court fees, and private detectives' film and flash bulbs. And dental work, should that prove necessary. And in addition, for the man who is newly free and ready to swing, 12 pairs of pop art underwear. Including the new Wonder Woman style. That set also includes Carmen Miranda, Dean Rusk, and Joe Bananas. And as a memento of your appearance on Divorce Game, a life-size statue of Mickey Rooney for your dashboard. Well, Well, now let's meet today's lucky couple. They've been married for 16 years and they can't stand each other. His hobby is lighting fires. Hers is raising carnivorous plants. Let's meet them. Here they are, Raoul and Congolia Breckenridge. How are you, Mrs. Breckenridge?
Hello, how are you, Don? Lovely day for a divorce.
Yes, it certainly is. And hello there, Mr. Breckenridge. How are you, John? By the way, she took my seat. Never mind. Move right along. It's too late for that. Now, which divorce have you chosen? The Mexican or the Reno?
Well, we've decided on the Reno because my husband's not allowed in Mexico.
Fine. And have you chosen your grounds for divorce?
Yes, I think category number 4.
Category 4, mental cruelty. Okay, here's your toss-up question, Congolia. A toss-up question worth 2 weeks toward the 6 weeks residence required in Reno. What is the cruelest thing your husband has ever done?
Outside of proposing. Well, first of all, Dum Dum can't hold a job at all. He started out as a dirt farmer, and then the price of dirt went down. Then he became a skywriter, but he was considered too controversial. And then he put all our money into a tapioca mine. And now he's the social director at an LSD factory. You never know when he's going to be home.
How about it? Does she get the divorce, audience?
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. That's it. Divorce granted. Now, Mrs. Breckenridge, will you come over and spin the custody wheel? We'll see how many of your children you'll retain. How many children do you have, by the way?
No, I have 7 now. Altogether, 7.
Fine. And what are their ages?
Oh, well, let's see. 35, 16, 41, 8, 3.5, 9, and 94. Mess of them.
Fine. Well, let's spin the wheel to see how many you retain. None. You don't keep any children, Mrs. Breckenridge. How do you feel about that, Mr. Breckenridge?
Do you think we could let her spin that wheel one more time?
No, the decision of the wheel is final, and now, Mrs. Breckenridge, for your alimony. In awarding alimony on our show, we like to be as fair as the courts, and so we use the alimony dartboard. Mrs. Breckenridge will throw 3 darts at the alimony dartboard, and they will determine the amount of alimony per week.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
You're aiming at the dartboard, not your husband.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
1,000, 200, $40, $1,240. It's a new divorce game record. Love's more comfortable.
$1,200? I don't even make $1,200 in a year.
That's all right. That's all right. You'll get it up somehow, or else you'll be a guest on our new jail game premiering next week. Well, congratulations, Raoul and Congolia, on a wonderful divorce. You've been a lovely couple, and on behalf of Divorce Game, we'd like to wish you the best of luck and urge each of you to remarry so that we can welcome you back once again to Divorce Game. Stay tuned for Sue Your Neighbor. Goodbye, all.
I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think I'm going out of my head. Over you. Over you. I want you to want me. I need you so badly. I can't think of anyone but you. And I think I'm going out of my head, 'cause I can't explain the tears that I shed over you, over you. I see you each morning, but you just walk past me. You don't even know that I exist. Going out of my must think of a way into your heart. There's no reason why my being shy should keep us apart. Going out of my head, over you, out of my head, over you, out of my head, day and night, night and day and night, wrong or right, I must think of a way into your heart. There's no reason why my being shy should keep us apart. And I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think I'm going out of my head. Gee, I think I'm going out of my head. Oh, yeah. Bird flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good. Feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good. Feeling good. Dragonfly in the sun, you know what I mean. Butterflies having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace till day is done, that's what I mean. It's a new world, it's a new world, and a bold world for me. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling good. Whoa! Feeling good.
Suddenly,
Thank you, music lovers. So much for my solo. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of one-night stands around the country. And everywhere I go, people are talking about a new young comedian. After you see him perform, you'll be talking about him, too. Here he is, the hippest performer around today, Mr. Richard Pryor. Hi, Richard.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Yeah, in show business, the little time I've been in, and people ask me a lot of questions. And the question people ask me most every day, people ask me why I'm not in the Army. And I want to tell you why I'm not in the Army. I was in the Army once, and that was enough for the Army. They let me out. I was in there for about 2 years. I was drafted. I wanted to get away from Peoria, and I'd like to camp. So I went to the Army. Well, I did. I had a lot of fun in the Army. Except the hang-up I had, I couldn't understand sergeants. I don't know if you've ever been in the Army, but drill sergeants have a language of their own. You really can't understand. You can't quite get it, you know, guy. Tap, hoo, right, he, hot, 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 tap, hot, 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 three, pop, tune, tap, 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 hop, tap, ball, tap, 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 ship, three, top, three, pop, tap, hoo, back, tap, hop, hoo. Is that understood? And, you know, really wild. And guys were too scared to say anything, right? Guys said, yeah, we'll pick up a bush, sure. I always thought to me, why should we be fighting? The people that don't want to fight, when they got people that like to fight, you could pay them. Like the mafia. Right? I figured, look, you give the mafia $70 billion, they take care of Ho Chi Minh. Right? Guys say, no, I wouldn't kid you. Right, you call up, you say,
Mr. Mafia, we give you $70 billion, you take care of Ho Chi Minh. It shall be done. Give me Chicago.
Hello, Chicago.
Hello, Louis. Stop applauding. I want you to take care of Ho Chi Minh.
Okay, Chief, it shall be done. What's a Ho Chi Minh?
Can you imagine the guy going to make the hit, as they say, right? The guy, ding, ding. Oh, who is it?
Avon calling.
No, to me, the war seems so funny, you know, because they have such weird things in the war that they do. The servicemen do weird things. Like they got submarines, you know, the boats that are underwater. And the guys, before they go into combat, believe it or not, they give them a pep talk. And I say, why give a guy a pep talk in the submarine? Where he gonna go? Right, he can't get out, you know, right?
Let me out here.
No, right? You know, guys. So they always have it, you know.
Now hear this. Now hear this. This is the captain speaking. That is all.
Mans, we going into combat, mans. So I want you mans to mop the deck and poop the ship. There's a few things I want to tell you, mans, before we take off. Some of you gonna get wiped out. That's all I want to tell you before we take off. First mate Hemerson's gonna say a few words, right? And the first mate comes out. You know, been in the Navy 300 years, right?
All right, Eddies. Let's quiet down out there, you guys. The last time I'm gonna tell you, man, this. I'm not telling you anymore. I'm tired of repeating it over and over. Torpedo tubes on the left, lavatories on the right. That's right, you guys keep getting a little mixed up, you know what I mean? We lost 3 men yesterday. Now watch it.
And they always talk like that, you know. Hello, first mate. And they got the guy in the signal corps, understands all those doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Right? Kid hung up on dupes when he was little, right?
Secret message, Captain. Thank you, stupid.
Medic! Medic! The Admiralty wants to know how much morphine we have left aboard ship. I don't know, baby, you know. I'm just sailing along with the breeze.
Watch that man, Henderson.
Right? Then they got the guy, it's really wild, they got the guy on the sonar. Sonar is what they discovered enemy ships with, right? They call it sonar. It's really radar, but they call it sonar, make us pay more taxes. Right? And they got a machine. Guy really gets his cookies from that noise. He sits there, he loves that noise, man. They go... Sir, sonar picked up enemy ship.
Abandoned ship.
No, sir, we must fight.
Oh, really?
Up scope, up scope, up scope. Help a goat, help a goat, help a goat.
Here's your goat, Captain.
Where'd you get the goat, man? I said up scope. Thought you said you wanted the goat. Come on, boy, up for the captain.
Won't come up, sir. You're standing on it, stupid.
Get a little mixed up. 10 degrees left, mark. 9 degrees center, mark. 30 degrees right, mark. Down scope.
Haven't got time for that. We're Americans.
Prepare to fire. Prepare to fire torpedo Torpedo 1. Aye, sir. Prepare to fire Torpedo 1. Fire Torpedo 1. Aye, sir. Torpedo 1, you're fired.
Henderson, help stupid fire Torpedo 3.
Fire Torpedo 3.
Torpedo 3 fired, sir. Good. Where's Henderson? He went to the laboratory.
Stay tuned for the second half of Away We Go, right after... One of the most exciting new groups on the scene is the Teddy Neeley Five. They're what's happening, baby.
Hey, life, look at me. I can see the reality. 'Cause when you shook me, took me out of my world, I woke up. Suddenly I just woke up to the happening. When you find that you left your future behind. 'Cause when you got a tender love you don't take care of, then you better beware of the happening. One day you're up, then you turn around. You find your world is tumbling down. It happened to me, and it can happen to you. I was sure I felt secure until love took the detour. Yeah, riding high on top of the world, it happened. Suddenly it just happened. I saw my dreams torn apart when love walked away from my heart. 'Cause when you lose a tender love you need to guide you, something happens inside you, the happening. Now I see life for what it is. It's not all dreams and it's not all bliss. It happened to me and it can happen to you. Then it happened. Then it happened. Is it real? Is it fake? Is this game of life a mistake? 'Cause when I lost the love I thought was mine for certain, suddenly it started hurting. I saw the light too late when that big old finger of fate, yeah, came and broke my pretty balloon. I woke up. Suddenly I just woke up. I was so sure I felt secure until love took the detour. 'Cause when you got a tender love you don't take care of, then you better beware of the happening. Well, this is one of those songs that you hear now and then. You don't know just where, you don't know just when. It's one of those songs that are over and then. It's one of those songs that stop playing again. Yes, this is one of those songs that you hear for a while, that comes into fashion, then goes out of style. It's one of those songs that you think you forgot, but it's one of those songs you cannot. Yes, this is one of those songs that makes you recall a ride in the springtime, a walk in the fall, a day in the country, a night on the town. The sun's coming up or the rain's coming down, or it's the evening you parted, the morning you met, the love of your life you can never forget. You'll find that one part of your lifetime belongs to one of those wonderful songs. Yes, this is one of those songs that's so easy to hear. You know you listen just once and you play it by ear. The hummed on verandas and the strummed on guitars, and all you remember are ra-ra-ra-ras from their own end you may recall. In some other year, you know you may start to smile or you may shed a tear. You'll find that one part of your lifetime belongs to one of those wonderful songs. All right, everybody, if you know the song, please sing along. If you don't, just la-la. Well, this is one of those songs that you It's one of those songs that are over and then. It's one of those songs that start playing again. Yes, this is one of those songs that get hit for a while, that comes into fashion, then goes out of style. You found that one part of your lifetime belongs to one of those wonderful songs, to one of those wonderful songs, to one of those wonderful songs.
When we were 17, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for small town girls and soft summer nights. We'd hide from the lights on the village green. When I was 17. When I was 17, I was in the Air Force, the American Air Force. I was stationed in Louisiana, and it turned out to be my only overseas tour. I enlisted in the Air Force because it seemed like the easiest way to become a general. Of course, I was only 17 at the time, and in order to become a general in the Air Force, you have to wait till the 21-year-olds die off. Kidding, of course. The real reason I joined the Air Force was to meet girls. As you know, the Air Force has the only uniforms that fit. Well, I was in a small town, unfortunately, and there were very few girls there. It was kind of rough. I can give you an idea of how few girls there were. 3 years in a row, I was the homecoming queen. No, I can't forget that year when I was 17. The only thing I really accomplished was learning to shave, which came in very handy 5 years later when there was hair on my face. While I was still in the Air Force protecting the country, I got my start in show business on a local radio station. I know you remember radio, the little box that doesn't show movies. I became a disc jockey on a rock and roll station.
Hi there, kids. Welcome to the big sound of the big tune of the big chart tune. Sound, big sound of the big chart. Next sound, you're the big biscuit.
The stations where all the disc jockeys sound alike.
Hi there, it's meeting 6 to 9. Hi, it's meeting 9 to 12. Hi, it's meeting 12 to 3. Hi, it's meeting 3 to 6. Hi, it's meeting 6 to 9. Hi, it's meeting 9 to 12.
It's all the same guy. He's in a jar, right? Well, it was good experience. It gave me the opportunity to develop as a comedy performer. I learned 3 things very important to a comedian: diction, timing, and fear. As I can remember, I wanted to be a comedian in the worst way. So I saved this monologue for you. It's amazing how many performers started as disc jockeys. Johnny Carson, Jonathan Winters, Agnes Moorehead, a host of them. And isn't life funny? Today, we're all on television, and none of us can sell any records. You know why? Because those rotten 17-year-old disc jockeys won't play them, that's why. When we were 21, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for city girls who lived up the stair with perfumed hair. And it came undone when I was 21. When I was 21, I was in jail. It was a very bad year, really. You know, I came from Philadelphia originally. And in those days, everybody in Philadelphia was in jail, even the cops. I lived in a very tough neighborhood. I know you won't believe this, but in South Philadelphia, you can get mugged walking through the yellow pages. But that was a long time ago. You see, in my neighborhood, you were either a singer or a fighter. Either way, you had to defend yourself. Now, I came from a very poor family. We were so poor, we used to take turns starving. Now, don't laugh, please. I used to get hand-me-down spaghetti.
Not to eat, to wear. Well, it was a terrible year. Luckily, I was interested in music. I loved the piano, but my parents couldn't afford one, so they suggested I take up the violin. But in my neighborhood, there were no violin, just violin cases. So my father, oh, Cheech, bless his heart, he pasted a fake keyboard on top of a large wooden table in the basement, and I'd practice on it every day. And at least I never had to have it tuned. I used to get splinters in my hands a lot, you know. But I actually got started in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Settlement House for the city's underprivileged youth. There, I got the opportunity to study music and practice and perform in shows with a lot of other kids. And you'll be amazed how many talented kids came out of that settlement house. It's a very impressive list. We have, just to name a few, Eddie Fisher, Sarah Vaughan, Mario Lanza, Frankie Avalon, Fabian, Joey Bishop, Bill Cosby, Jimmy Darren, Bobby Rydell, just to name a few. When I was 21, I formed my own little trio, and we played a lot of nightclubs. And then one night, Benny Goodman, oh, you dirt, Benny Goodman dropped into the Club 13 where I was playing, and he offered me a job with his famous band as singer, pianist, and arranger. What a thrill that was. A kid playing piano for the king of swing. Well, I traveled all over the world with Benny, and I sent care packages from every country back to my family. I learned a lot with that band. Let's see, I learned how to smoke, how to drink, how to fool around a lot. Oh, boy. And when I was 21, I became 40.
When I was 35, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for blue-blooded girls of independent means.
We'd ride in limousines.
Their chauffeurs would drive.
When I was 35.
Sing your little heart out.
Oh, I think I just did. When I was 35, I went to a psychiatrist. He told me I was 12. Now, think about that. It was a very good year, though, because I had a ball when I was 12. But seriously, folks, I'm sure. When I was 35, I was making my third comeback. It's hard to believe, but I started the show business when I was only 2 years old. Don't laugh, would you? It wasn't easy doing a paradiddle in a diaper with talcum powder. While the other kids were learning to say Dada and Mama, I was yelling, big bands are coming back! Idiot! When I used to wear a Buster Brown haircut and a sailor suit. Can you picture that with this face? But I always had this face, you know. That's why I take it out on the drums, but I have no complaints. When I was 35, I was with Artie Shaw's great band, and we were really swinging in those days, especially Artie. He got married 8 times to himself. The 2 roughest periods in my life were when I was with the Marines and Tommy Dorsey. They were both rough, but the Marines paid better. In those days, I used to room with a skinny kid with a lot of hair. Maybe you've heard of him, Frank Sinatra. Hiya, Frank.
Yes, sir.
The kid had a lot of charm, and we used to double date. Sometimes we used to even get a girl. Yes, sure he did. But I shouldn't kid about Sinatra. I owe him a lot. In fact, he backed my first big band, and he gave me my first chance to go broke. All heart. Thank you, Frank. And here I am borrowing from Frank again. We're using his song. And now we're 83. And they were very good years.
They were very good years. But now we're wrinkled up and feeling so sad.
And not hearing is bad.
In our eyes there are tears, but they were very good years.
It's nice here in Senior City.
Say, where are we?
Senior City. Senior City.
Senior City? I thought all drummers went to Birdland.
It's very nice here.
Yeah?
What did he say?
He said, eh?
Say, aren't you the kids that kind of palled around with me? Sorry about that. Aren't you the kids that palled around with me in 1967?
That's true. Whatever happened last?
I don't know, but it was a very good year.
Yep. It was a very good year.
Yes, it was.
But now the days are short.
And I think of my life as vintage wine from fine old cakes.
From the brim to the grave.
Clear. I'm too old for this.
It was a very good year. Very good.
Here's George Burns for...
For those of you who are watching in color, I'm playing in black and white. You know, I'd love to play something for you, but they told me always leave them wanting more. But you won't be disappointed because it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest, a very beautiful young lady who knows really how to give a song meaning. Here she is, the exciting Taro Delphi.
Fish gotta swim and birds have got to fly. I've got to love one man.
Out there, here we are, the corn-fed five, huh? Corn-fed and country bred. How about it, boys? Huh? We're going to give you a little great moment in history here, in musical history. First, we're going to just rehearse for half a second here. 1 and 2. What's that next one? 4. Oh, good thing you went through that Head Start program. 1, 2, 3. Tarnations you have to go and jump up and go on out and do that for?
Mama don't allow no music playing in here, especially when it's okay.
Well, here we are, corn-fed 4. Got a little rehearsal, new arrangement. 1 and 2 and 2 and 2.
I said, Mama don't allow no music playing in here, especially when it's lousy.
You just don't dig improvisation.
She's some kind of mother. Mama don't allow it. Mama don't allow it.
Cause Mama gets too sick when she hears music.
Mama don't allow.
Mama don't allow no piano playing in here. Mama don't allow no piano playing in here. I don't care what Mama don't allow. I'm gonna play my piano anyhow. Mama don't allow no piano playing in here.
Roy, I said, Roy, play that fine.
I think I will. I said I think I will. Mama don't allow it. Mama don't allow it.
music of it all.
Mama don't allow no horn playing in here. Mama don't allow no horn playing in here.
I don't care what Mom don't allow. I'm gonna play my horn any old how.
Mama don't allow no horn playing in here. Go ahead, take a shot at it. Mama don't allow it. Mama don't allow it. 'Cause Mama gets music when she hears music. Mama don't allow. Mama don't allow no drum playing in here. Mama don't allow no drum playing in here.
I don't care what Mama don't allow. I'm going to play those drums anyhow.
But Mama don't allow no drum playing in here. Mama don't allow it. Mama don't allow it. 'Cause Mama gets too sick when she hears music. Mama don't allow.
I don't like your piano playing in here.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like your trumpet playing in here.
Yeah, yeah.
And you play drums like you're a bum.
Holy Moses, son of a gun.
I don't like your music playing in here. Listen here, boys. You ain't playing music suited for you. Get rid of that trumpet. Get yourself something a bit
My old
manly.
Toby! My old Toby!
I'll hurt.
I heard.
Now you, get up there on that piano.
Get up on the piano. No, get up. I don't think he plays that darn good myself.
Never you mind. Get up there on them drums.
I gotta put this down.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let the drums roll out. Let the tuba swing.
Get the piano shout.
We got a band.
And the cymbals ring. Come on and roll. That's what I call swing. Strike up the band. Mama don't like no music playing in here. Mama likes the music playing in here.
Strike up the band and let her go. We want all of you to know.
Mama likes the music playing in here. Let the drums roll out. Let the trumpet call. While people shout. Strike up the band. Get the cymbals ring. Call one and all. To the martial swing. Strike up the band. There is work to be done, to be done. There's a war to be won, to be won. From you son of a gun. Take your stand. Fall the line, you both. Come along, let's go. Hey, leader, strike up the band. Mama allows it. Mama allows it. When the band is swinging, Mama starts singing. Start taking by. Then Mama.
Well, it's time to say goodnight, George, and I'd like to thank our guests, Richard Pryor, Taro Delphi, and the Teddy Neeley 5.
Why don't you let me do it?
Okay, you do it.
Thanks. Oh, I almost forgot, buddy. I received thousands of letters. The show's been getting nice mail, and I just want to say one thing. Let's hear from your relatives for a change, please.
Good night, folks.